AM1450 WDLB's Insight program here, coming to you on this 17th of April. I say that in part because we're now joined on our program with MCTV. Joining me in studio from the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter Group is Karen Rao. Good morning.
Good morning, Jeff.
And also Jean Zimmermann. Good morning.
Good morning.
Tell me about the event you've got coming up here and why Jean is in and how it all relates.
This pretty much all started because there are numerous people in the community that were asking for a dog walk. And the event coordinator, Angie Workus, had talked to us about organizing an event like this. And she works at St. Joseph's Hospital, and she had run into, I think it was Jean's family. Or
It was my sister.
Your sister?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And they thought that this would be a great way to get the memory of Brittany out there in front of the community again. And so we wanted to, have this event in her honor and her memory. And so that's how this all got started.
They were having a dog walk?
Yeah, well...
As opposed to Alzheimer's walk or MS walk or all the other walks that go?
Yeah, exactly.
The same thing, only for the pet shelter.
Yeah, and it kind of started off where they wanted to do a 5K run, but then it kind of morphed into, a fun run and dog walk. With the proceeds coming to us.
So how did it turn into a fundraiser for another cause? In the sense that it was using Brittany Zimmermann as a face for the event, or all of it still goes to the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter?
Yeah, originally she wanted to do something for the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter, but then, to honor the Zimmermann family and Brittany's memory, we thought that would be a great way to get her name back out in the community and put her face on this event for us.
Well, she was also, from what I understand, a pet owner as well.
Huge pet owner.
So I know what happened. Will you take me through Brittany and what the situation is?
Sure. Brittany was a junior at UW-Madison, going to be studying pre-med to be a doctor, and she, of course, had her 3 cats with her and her fiancé down there, and someone broke into her apartment on April 2nd, 2008, and murdered her. And it was extremely devastating for us. And we were very fortunate that her fiancé decided to give us, my husband and I, the 3 cats. So we have the 3 cats, and we do anything and everything for them because they are grand kitties. We may never have grandchildren, but we will have grand kitties. So this was absolutely perfect. When Angie approached my sister Kim and said, because Angie actually knew my daughter Brittany also. Angie's son Mike and Brittany were very good friends, and Angie was also devastated when Brittany left us. She always wanted to do something, so this was absolutely perfect for her to plan this for the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter.
Well, it's something that it's one of those things where you want to keep the memory alive, but I don't want to be bringing it up to you, because I don't know how to make you feel. Do I keep turning that wound or scraping that scab off, or do I just let it go?
No, until they find the person responsible, we need to keep scraping that scab off and bringing this up to anyone and everyone. We do this. We actually have a 5K run in Madison every year in memory of Brittany, and we do that for the Marshfield or the Madison Area Crime Stoppers. It's extremely important for people to call with any tips, any knowledge of anything that happened that day in Brittany's case, or even in any county. If you know something, speak up. You need to solve the crime.
Where do we stand on the solving of this crime?
We stand in not very good area right at the moment. It's been 6 years. We just celebrated last week the 6-year anniversary of her death. It was very hard for us knowing that the person who did this has been able to walk around free for 6 years and live their life. And my husband and I feel like we've been sentenced to prison for the last 6 years.
It's television shows watch cold case files. This really isn't a cold case yet. It's an active investigation, but there's really no tips left?
That's what, they tell us it's not considered a cold case. My husband and I believe it is. They have exhausted all their avenues. There are no tips coming in as far as we know. Sometimes we do wish that it would be considered a cold case, because there are people that have offered their help to my husband and I, to help look through the investigative documentation and help us find the person responsible.
Why is there a difference, whether it's cold or active?
If it's active, you cannot get any of the information from the from like the Madison Police Department. If it is a cold case, there's open record laws which allow you to get that information.
So you would hire your own people, or
We've actually been offered help from many different people that have the investigative resources available to help us. Absolutely.
Talking with Jean Zimmermann, mother of the late Brittany Zimmermann. I guess if you were in the Marshfield area, what has it been, 6 years now?
6 years.
6 years ago, she was murdered at Madison, UW Madison student, and they're putting together a Paws for Brittany Memorial fun run and dog walk, using her as the face of it because she was a pet owner, to help raise money for the Marshfield area pet shelter. Karen Rao is also here with us. But we talked the other day that these small things we do, the breakfasts, people, it puts a face on and keeps us in front of the community, and that's what we want to do here for the Marshfield area pet shelter. But there's going to be a need for a building going up here, and we keep talking about that, but we need some big chunks of money, because you're talking a lot of zeros here to make something like that happen. And people want to know, well, why? And it's because, why is it so expensive? It's because it has to meet certain codes, and like a hospital almost. I mean, there are floor plans that you have to go by, and inspections, and in order to make an animal shelter, you just don't throw up a building, a shed, and put dogs in it. This is something that has to meet certain codes and inspections, so there's a cost incurred in putting a building like this together. And these kind of things keep the maps in front of Marshfield Area Pet Shelter cause in front of people, but it mainly goes for operating expenses as it is now.
Right. We do have, I think we've raised, over $100,000. That sustains our current programs like Share the Care and our foster care program, but we really need to get, like you said, the large chunks of money in our building fund in order to get this built. And this community is so generous. People are constantly showing up at our microchip clinics at the mall with large donations of food and supplies for us. And as much as we greatly appreciate that, without a facility, we just don't have the need so much for the food and the supplies and stuff, because we don't have that many animals, because without a facility, all these animals are getting placed in our homes, and we can only do so much with the limited resources in our homes. So what we really need is the money. We need the money to get the building built, and we keep staying in front of the public about our cause, and we get so many comments from people that say, oh my gosh, you guys are everywhere, which is good because we're staying out there, but we do need the money. We need the money to get this built because, frankly, I don't know how much longer all of us core volunteers can continue to house all these pets in our homes that need to be saved, how we can continue to do this aside from our full-time jobs. This week has been very, very busy. We've been picking up dogs. We've been, helping cats. We've been receiving numerous phone calls. And quite frankly, I don't know how we can continue. We need a facility, and we need people to get involved and help us get that facility.
But I don't want people to get burnt out, and you have to be very careful on this, that while I went to the breakfast, I'm doing my part, and we appreciate that. And that's, we still will need those things to continue forever and ever, because there's operating costs. But we're operating with no walls, and so these animals are in people's homes like yourself. Mm-hmm. And the candle's burning down here because not everybody can continue to do that for a long period of time. We need, $1 million here for somebody to step up and say, here's a donation, you can make it the memorial to us or however you want to do that. But we have a capital campaign that's going that people can donate chunks of money, trust funds, in memoriam, and have parts of what will be the shelter. The land is already there, and the place is set. They can have a part of that, can't they?
Yes, absolutely. And The goal, I just talked to Jean about this, being that Brittany was such a huge cat lover. She had actually, rescued 2 of her 3 cats off the streets. My goal for Brittany and her family is to raise enough money so that we can dedicate and name the whole free roaming cat room after Brittany at our new facility. So, just establishing goals like that and getting people engaged in, why we're doing this and why, for whatever reason, we need to get those walls up. And, if people want to donate, let's get that room named after Brittany and let's get these walls up.
Talking with Karen Rao, board president for Marshfield Area Pet Shelter. Jean Zimmermann is here, mother of the late Brittany Zimmermann, and we're going to have a Paws for Brittany Memorial Fun Run and Dog Walk coming up on Saturday, May 10th. Is that Mother's Day? I believe.
It's the Saturday before.
Oh, it is
Mother's.
Saturday before. Okay. Yep. It's on that weekend anyway, and Jean is here to let you know that using and allowing Brittany's likeness and name to help this is a co-cause, so to speak, in that allowing her image to be used for this was something she would have been happy to do along the way. So it's something that we want to let you know about. And how can people get involved in this? What's going on that people can get involved in, first of all?
We have registration forms all over Marshfield. Our posters, we have close to 200 posters out there with a list of where people can get their registration forms. The 3 vet offices in town have them, among numerous other businesses in town that were generous enough to let us have our registration forms there. We do have an online registration form or website. We've had numerous people use that. That is at www.pawsforbrittany.com. That's our website for this event. People can register online there. It is $25 for adults, and then kids are $10, and under 6 are free. Everybody will get a T-shirt if they'd like one. All of our sponsors, Jean and Kevin have been going out and finding sponsors for this event. All those sponsors will be listed on that T-shirt. Up until the day of the event, people can register, and even the day of the event. We're asking that people register soon so they can be guaranteed a T-shirt if they'd like one. But otherwise, they can register right up until the event and that morning.
Saturday, May 10th, Wildwood Park and Zoo. It's the usual course, 2.3 miles around the ponds. 8 a.m. registration, 9 a.m. start. Dogs on a leash are welcome. How about cats on a leash?
Sure.
Birds with a collar? My bird might get away.
We've seen.
Bring a fish?
Yeah. We don't want to discriminate. So if somebody has something other than a dog, you bet.
I don't think my fish would want to go with a jog with all that sloshing around for as long as it would take, or a walk.
Well, whatever people want, you
might
bet.
enjoy the different scenery, but who can tell from inside the glass what it looks like there? So come on out. The registration forms available at Subway, 1302 South Central. That's evidently one by Festival. Mm-hmm. That would be about 1302, I think. Baltus Bread and Butter Shop across the street from the radio station at across from Target. Columbus High School, Weiler's Convenience Store at 600 North Central. And Marshfield Veterinary Service, St. Joseph's Hospital, multi-departments have those. What does that mean?
There's a group of us that work at the hospital that have all the registration forms. We have the ads on the bulletin board. There's an electronic bulletin board there, so anybody can contact numerous departments. They all have registration forms. We're talking hospital departments.
Wildwood Animal Hospital, the Hair Gallery at 1110 North Central. Rose Bowl Lanes and Edwin Memorial Lanes in Roselleville all have registration forms. Paws for Brittany Memorial Fun Run and Dog Walk Saturday, May 10th at Wildwood Park and Zoo in Marshfield. It's going to raise funds for the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter. Joining me in studio, Board President Karen Rao and Jean Zimmermann, mother of the late Brittany Zimmermann, who was murdered in Madison 6 years ago. And we're going to do a fun run and memorial walk to raise money for a cause that as we talked about, she would be in favor of. She rescued a couple of cats herself off the streets. So it was something that she was involved in before her murder. So it's something that we want to talk about and you to be a part of, bring to the program here today. So thank you both for coming in. Jean, you've been a part of this, and she just said helping get sponsors.
Absolutely. I mean, we're so thankful to everyone who has donated already to be a sponsor. We are absolutely looking for anyone else who would like to be a sponsor for this event.
What's required?
If they would like to give any amount, $100 will guarantee them a nice, big, beautiful advertisement on the back of the T-shirts. Any amount, we'll take anything, honestly. We need to raise as much money as possible. We need to get this facility built for them. Brittany would have been 100% involved in this.
So thank you for coming in, both of you, and I'm sure, Karen, we'll see you again soon. We want to keep this in front of people, and hopefully somebody will step up and we can get the bricks, bought and something happening, because as we talked, a lot of people are wanting to give things. They're giving food, they're giving time. As soon as you get done, I'll come out and play with the cats and walk the dogs, and I'll do all the things. But what's the situation right now with the cats?
The cats are still going to Clark County Humane Society through the Share the Care program, the adoptable ones. There's still issues with the ones that aren't adoptable, the scared ones. We just need to find barn locations for those scared ones. They're not going to be domesticated house pets. These are cats that have lived on the streets for who knows how long, and they're just not going to go back in a home. And we need to find barn locations. Clark County will spay and neuter them and vaccinate them. They send them back to us, but then we have to have a place to put them. So ultimately, yeah, it's a great setup. We're sending the adoptable cats there, but the ones that are not adoptable, we need to find locations for them, or we have to make that decision out at the pet motel.
What's happening with dogs?
Dogs, we're continuing to take them to Southwood County. We've had 4 of them go so far this year. We currently do have a little Shih Tzu that was found as a stray here in Marshfield that we're going to be placing up for adoption. At the time, Southwood County was overwhelmed with their foster care program. This was a dog that needed some extra help with potty training and some separation anxiety that she had. And so we placed her in one of our foster homes instead of sending her to Southwood County. So we're going to be placing her up for adoption here shortly. So again, this dog is in foster homes here in Marshfield. And we're going to continue to need foster homes even after the building is built for special needs dogs like this. So we continue to save these animals in the Marshfield area, but this is just a temporary solution because we cannot continue to overburden these shelters with our pets here. We need to get something built so that we can take care of our own animals and place them up for adoption here in our own community.
Yeah, as a community this size, it's amazing that we haven't, but under the former system we were able to get by, and the laws changed with the puppy mill law, and now it's no longer an option. So this needs to
and
get
with
done.
the old system too, there was no obligation to spay and neuter and vaccinate, and then there was no screening done for adopters. The city did what they had to do, but we can do so much more for these animals. I mean, we had 200 cats come in last year, 200. Only one of those 200 had a microchip. We only had 14 of those 200 return to their owner last year. So that's why it's so important that we stay out in front of this community about the importance of microchipping, and that's why we offer that every last Saturday of the month, and just educating the public. We're so much more than just taking care of the strays that are coming in. We're educating the public and providing services. So there's so much more this community can benefit from by having this shelter, and we're continuing to do this every day behind the scenes.
Karen Rao, board president of the Marshfield Area Pet Shelter. Jean Zimmermann also in here with me this morning. Thank you both for coming in and all you're doing here to keep this thing in front of people and using your resources to make this available to us and keeping it in front of us, and hopefully get this thing done here soon. Thank you both.
Thank you, Jeff.
Sure. Here on AM1450 WDLB's Insight program for today. We'll be back to wrap it up here in just a moment, so stay with me.